Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Sukmov, back again with another video, and here I am talking about a topic that most certainly will get many people pissed off at me no matter which side I take, or if I take one at all. Nonetheless, simply talking about the console war and comparing the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 will without a doubt muster plenty of hate. Although the next generation of consoles came out almost 2 years ago, many people still have not upgraded to their Xbox One or PlayStation 4. With that being said, it is fair to say that the PlayStation 4 is crushing the Xbox One in total console sales, seeing that the PlayStation 4 reached around 22 million total units sold this June. Of course, just because the PlayStation 4 has sold more units doesn't necessarily mean the console's better. Everyone has their own preferences as to which console they prefer, which is why I will be looking at this so-called console war from an objective standpoint. As you can see on your screen now, I have compared the specs of the Xbox One versus the PlayStation 4 side by side, along with the Xbox 360 in case you were interested. As you can see, the first few statistics are just about the same, with the CPU frequency clocking in at around 1.6 GHz for each console respectively. It is at this point that it begins to get a little dicey for the Xbox One. Starting at GPU cores, the PlayStation 4 outmatches the Xbox One in almost every way. The big thing to pay attention to is system memory, with the Xbox One using a DDR3, which is quite measly compared to the PlayStation 4 GDDR5. Despite the PlayStation 4 outmatching the Xbox One in certain categories regarding graphical performance, does this really translate to a better graphical experience on the PlayStation 4? When comparing actual performances side by side, I am hard pressed to find any distinct advantages for one console over the other. If there are any at all, they are only noticeable when paying close attention, with both systems being streamed side by side to one another. Because these distinctions are so minor, they can only really be distinguished when being nitpicked under these such circumstances. However, titles released cross-platform are more likely to perform at 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 4, while sometimes only performing at 30 frames per second on the Xbox One. The most recent Tomb Raider game is an example of this. However, for games such as Arkham Knight, the FPS is capped at 30 frames regardless, so I dare say which console you're playing on for these types of titles does not matter at all. Although performance variations may be somewhat unnoticeable at this point in time, that may not be the case 5 years down the line. We're still very early into this console generation. Game developers are nowhere near reaching the full capabilities of these systems. Although differences between the Xbox One and PS4 may seem small now, could these distinctions in performance 5 or 6 years down the line be more significant? The answer to that question is most certainly. As an Xbox One user, I am very satisfied with my system as a whole. However, different from the last generation of consoles, the consumer may have to weigh positives and negatives of each console, benefits that exceed far beyond DLC exclusivity, or which console their best friends are on. Because of this, I believe this so-called console war is the most fierce one gaming has ever seen. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can of course hit the like button. For all things gaming related, be sure to subscribe. Thanks again for watching.